Bedtime meditation story, The River Beneath the Moon. The village of Anselm rested at the edge of a great forest, where the trees stretched tall and shadows wove long patterns over the earth. By day, life moved quietly, the blacksmith tending his forge, the baker dusting loaves with flour, the scent of warm bread drifting through the lanes. But at night, when the moon hung heavy and full, the forest seemed to breathe, as if something ancient stirred beneath its branches. Isla had lived in Anselm all her life. The rhythm of the village was stitched into her. The seasons marked by small rituals, the same faces passing each day. There was comfort in the familiar, but lately, a quiet ache had begun to bloom beneath the surface of her days. It wasn't sadness exactly, more like something waiting, something she couldn't quite name. There was one path she'd never taken, the narrow trail at the edge of the forest, where the trees leaned in close. The elders whispered about it in low voices, saying it led to a hidden river, a place where time softened, where the heart could set down what it carried without needing to explain. Some said the river was older than the village itself, flowing beneath the moon long before anyone had ever named these lands. That night, sleep would not come. The ache in Ila's chest stirred again, soft but certain. Without fully understanding why, she rose from her bed, wrapping herself in a thick wool cloak. The cottage walls felt too close, too still. The night air slipped cool against her skin as she stepped out into the quiet. The village slept beneath a sky scattered with stars. Only the faint flicker of candlelight moved behind windows. Isla's footsteps were the only sound as she made her way to the edge of the forest, where the narrow trail began, half hidden beneath ivy and fallen leaves. Her heart beat steady in her chest, as if it had always known this path was waiting for her. The forest closed around her, deep and hushed. Moonlight filtered through the branches, casting pale silver patterns on the earth. The air smelled of damp moss and rain-soaked earth. Each step seemed to pull her farther from the world she knew, as if the trees themselves were carrying her deeper into something both older and quieter. As she walked, Isla noticed how the ache inside her began to loosen. Thoughts that had circled her mind for weeks now felt smaller, like distant birds disappearing into the branches. The silence was a presence all its own, wrapping around her like something gentle and patient. Time folded in on itself. Minutes or hours could have passed. It was hard to tell. At last, the path opened into a clearing. The river shimmered beneath the moon, its surface rippling with silver light. It was wider than she had imagined, slow-moving and endless, as if it had no beginning and no end. The water whispered softly against the rocks, carrying secrets no one had ever spoken aloud. Isla knelt at the edge of the river, her fingers brushing the cool surface. The current tugged lightly, neither demanding nor pushing, just an invitation. It was said the river carried away what no longer served those who came to it. The small burdens tucked beneath the ribs, the quiet griefs folded inside the heart. You didn't have to name what you were ready to release. The water simply knew. Isla closed her eyes. The ache inside her rose to the surface, not sharp but steady. The weight of all the things she'd held onto, without even realizing. Unanswered questions, unspoken worries, the quiet longing for something she couldn't quite touch. She let out a long, slow breath as if offering it all to the river. The night wrapped around her. The water kept flowing. Nothing rushed here. Nothing asked for more than she was ready to give. Her breath began to slow, following the rhythm of the river. Inhale, exhale. The ground beneath her was cool and steady. The air moved through the leaves, carrying the faint scent of lavender and rain. Inhale, exhale. With each breath, the ache loosened, not disappearing entirely, but softening, making space. The river would keep flowing long after she left this place, carrying away what she had offered, making room for whatever might come next. Isla stayed like that for a long time, cradled by the silence, the moon, the water. When at last she stood, her heart felt a little lighter. The path home stretched behind her, waiting patiently. By dawn, the village would stir to life again. Bread baking, smoke rising from chimneys, the same small rituals of another day. But something in Isla had shifted. Quietly and without ceremony. No one would see it. No one would ask. The river would hold her secret. As you rest now, let your breath follow the rhythm of the river. Feel the earth steady beneath you. Let each inhale fill you with quiet presence. Let each exhale carry away anything you're ready to set down. There is nothing to fix, nothing to solve. Only this breath, only this moment. The river keeps flowing. You are already exactly where you need to be.